Some people live in the city. Some people live in the country. Others live in the mountains. Me? I live on an island. Long Island. Most of my life. I have a car, 2 kids, and a wife. I'll probably be here for the rest of my life. I'm living on the island. When summer comes and winter falls, the island lays the shopping malls. Take daddy's credit card, charge it all. They're living on an island. Oh, we're living on Long Island. Oh, you know it's so much fun. I'm living on the island. I'm just basking in the sun.
Hey, Andy, give me a vodka. Is that your Camaro? It's gorgeous.
You know, I went to high school with Billy Joel.
I go to Hamptons on Friday night. I party hard till the sunshine bright. Then I'm sitting in traffic on Sunday night. I'm living on an island. Yeah, living on Long Island. Oh, you know it's so much fun. I'm living on the island. I'm not hurting anyone. Ah, let's live. Hey there, islanders. If you're going out to the beach, you better get an early start. Traffic is miserable.
Has a Mickey Mouse. Are you going to be? Hey!
Welcome to the Gagootz Show.
The Gagootz, baby!
With my super cool co-host, Mezzy D,
Yes.
and our ultra super cool guest, Will Romero.
All right.
And we have another guest that's going to come in.
Oh, we like Poppins. I like that. I like
Yeah,
Poppins. I like Mary Poppins as well. That's my favorite. That's my
Me
favorite.
too.
I can't.
Did you ever see the second one, the Mary Poppins Returns?
Yes, when I'm the one I recently, it didn't recently come out, but it was a super.
Yeah.
That's my favorite. And
Oh,
they
really?
say that your Disney movie tells about who you are.
Are you a fan of Mary Poppins?
Not at all.
He's like, I don't even know who that is.
I do know who that is.
Okay, good. I would say because some guys are like they don't.
No,
know
I do like Disney movies, man. My favorite one is.
That bottle of water is for you,
Oh,
my dear.
I love it. He's so good. He's such a good man.
My favorite one is Beauty and the Beast, man.
Beauty and the Beast.
I wrote
is
a
cool
whole
story.
essay in college about that.
Really?
Yeah, because it's the most feminist movie of all time. Think about it. Belle, she's the one kicking butt. She's the one that truly takes on the role of the hero. And there's really no bad guys if you watch the movie. This is such a clever, so well written movie, man. Like,
Wow, I gotta
Now-
rewatch the movie now.
Okay, now you're talking about the animated version.
yeah, the animated
Because
one.
then they did a live action.
Yeah, I know
But that was
one.
not the same like
No,
storyline.
I mean, but
though.
they still kept the same the same narrative behind it. They still kept the same theme of female empowerment.
Oh.
And if you really watch it, like Gaston's not a bad guy. Gaston is just a town hero that gets over his ego and gets jealous. And then you have the Beast, which is really a spoiled brat prince that one day decided to be more of a spoiled brat and he needed to learn a lesson. And it's really her who's kicking butt. She's the one that takes the place of her father. She takes the leader. Remember, the Beast kidnapped the father. Then she traded places with the father, and she's the one that has to educate the Beast into becoming a prince. You know, so it's.
I didn't think he was really going to educate us. We're educated now on that. I love that.
Dude,
But I agree. It's a great. The movie is like almost 30 years old. Now.
Yeah, and it's still amazing.
And it's still an amazing. It was. I feel that when the animated version came out, it brought Disney back to being the animated. The greatest animators.
I agree.
Yeah.
You know
But
what
before
I'm
we get into more Disney,
Yeah,
let's
okay.
talk about our weekends. Because I know we haven't seen each other in about a week and a half.
2 weeks. Yeah.
2 weeks
2
of the
weeks.
day. How's your 2 weeks
Every
been going?
the show is.
I know.
every-
I was like, am I on the right Tuesday? And shout out to our girl Janice. We just did a show with her.
Yeah.
She's like, oh, I want you. She wanted me to come on her show, and I'm like, of course. And so yesterday I texted her. I was like, oh wait, what? You never told me what day. She's like, it's tomorrow. I was like, I do the Gagootz show tomorrow.
Janice.
So thank you, Janice. I love you. Hopefully we can. Hopefully we can reconnect.
Janice. I love Janice.
Yeah, hopefully
Yeah.
we can reconnect.
Yeah.
Did you do anything cool in the last 2 weeks?
Yes, as a
Oh,
matter of
okay.
fact, Nancy and I we saw a comedy show, but remember when we had a guest here a month ago. Her name was I can't think of it.
He's looking at me. That's the funniest thing is that he looks at me as if I'm gonna be like, I know the name.
Samantha Carlson, the singer.
He's so
Remember
good.
the
He's so
singer?
good. Yes.
And she sang a little bit at the end. Great voice.
Yeah.
We had a video of her doing Liza Minnelli.
Okay.
So she has a band called the Song Island Band.
Ooh.
That sounds like something from Long Island.
Well, yeah, right?
Long Island.
Long Island.
The
Long
Song Island Band, and they played in Bayshore, and they're going to be there
That's
again
Long
twice.
Island.
They played in Bayshore on the bay there, Fatfish.
Yeah, I never.
So, okay, you never, are you familiar with the Bayshore Marina?
No, I actually not.
Okay.
I'm like from Nautical Mile.
All right.
Like I'm
but
from Freeport.
anyway.
Okay.
Yeah, you're from Freeport.
Yeah, I'm on the south shore.
The White Whale. You still have the White Whale?
I don't think so.
That
Nautical
would-
Mile? No, they changed
That
a
would
lot.
be
Of
Moby Dick, wouldn't it?
What?
That would be Moby Dick, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
the
but
world.
Yeah, that would be the
I was like, I don't remember that on the
But the
Nautical Mile.
club was a bar restaurant called the White
I
Whale.
used to live in Freeport. I used to live right there in the Nautical Mile. I was there when he got flooded during the, what was it, Sandy?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. And
That was
the
horrible.
summer before that, I was having a lot of fun there for lack of a better
Yeah, we're gonna
word.
definitely get into that fun for sure.
Well, that fun? No, I was chaotic, man. I was a chaotic person there. I did a lot of damage there. Let's just put it that
Okay,
way.
all right.
Well, she did it, but she did it
So
on the
anyway,
show.
we
Okay.
went and saw Samantha, and she has a band. They were 3 guitars,
Oh.
Three guitars.
rhythm, lead guitar, and a bass player, and she sang with them, and they did all kinds of 70s tunes that I love,
Yeah.
Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young,
love that,
and
yeah. I love the classics.
We were
Yeah,
just
they
talking
did some
about
country.
music. We were just talking about
We were
music.
talking about
Yeah.
music, and I have to answer her questions, and then we could go
Yeah,
on.
yeah, yeah.
And maybe
we can
ask me
go on.
how I was in
Oh,
last
wait,
week.
wait.
Yeah,
I mean, like,
how
am I
was
chopped
it?
liver or what?
Before I forget, hello, Nancy.
Hi,
Nancy's
Nancy!
watching.
You see how you treat me when you're not here? I'm chopped liver. I love you, Nancy. You're my favorite.
We love you.
She said
See
you guys
you
going on
soon.
vacation.
We are going
Where?
on vacation.
That's why he's got the hat with the. Look at this guy.
We're not going to Disney.
Oh, I thought you were going to do. I'm
No.
okay. Where you guys?
I got Nancy to go to Cooperstown, New York, the Baseball Hall of Fame. It's a cool town over there.
Nice.
And I've been there. I took my son there 3 times. And
I think he likes the place.
And I like it, so I want to go in. They're cool towns, too, and some nice restaurants in there.
Oh,
There's
nice.
a place we go to called Doubleday that I would go to. Make the best Reuben I've ever had. Yeah. And the shirt says it all. The shirt says, we're a drinking town with a baseball problem. So
I love
that's
that.
the shirt, and I have that.
Oh, that's so
I mean,
nice. Honestly, I
but,
love that you guys.
and
You
then
guys
we're
are
go-
what
then
love
we're gonna go
should
to-
be.
Then we're going to go to Hal Caverns.
That sounds
Okay.
like that sounds
So-
like 2 problems.
I did that. All right, so and I love my wife that she wanted to go, and I said
Aw.
Hal Caverns, and there was a lot to do up there, up in near Cooperstown.
Cool.
So
Yeah.
there's a lot.
Oh, good.
Now, well, how was your week? I know you're dying to
Me?
tell.
Oh my god, stop. Like, what? No. So it's funny enough. I didn't have a show. Like in June, my shows are not as fluid as much as I did. But I did do my very first recreation. So I'm a recreation director.
Yes.
I did my first recreation consulting at Lyad Center. So shout out to, I had like a staff of 15 people. And you would think I actually knew what I was talking about. I was like, you're doing great and you're doing fabulous and you're doing great. And it's just so random, like with comedy, it's so random because it's like some months you'll be super booked, some months you're not. And it's like, I think as comedians, we have to like kind of adapt and change up a little bit and always create opportunities out of opportunities that like probably weren't even there before. I think that's what makes it really cool. So that was like the coolest thing I did, but I think that's pretty damn cool.
Well, it slows,
I think that's
it
very
slows
cool.
down in the summer. We can always agree. Comedy will slow down in the summer.
I feel like it should be the opposite.
Nobody wants to go inside and be inside. They want to enjoy the sun. They want to go outside.
If it was an outdoor show,
That's the worst.
yeah.
I hate the outdoor
I
show.
hate
Really?
any outdoor. Yeah, you got birds, you got construction going on, you got an airplane going by, you got a raccoon.
A raccoon? Oh, hell no, I'm out.
I did a show. I'm not gonna say where. During the pandemic, when it was all outside.
Yeah, I went to one of those. The outdoor.
Did you do
Yeah,
it when they had the plastic?
I felt like if I was in an incubator, man. Like, and they had a fan going on. That was during the pandemic. Remember? I couldn't hear the laughter, and then as I'm performing, guess who walks by? Mr. Raccoon, and people started screaming, and I'm like, God damn it.
Well, hopefully you were behind the plastic.
Yeah, I was. I'm not scared.
But yeah, I heard that about being behind the plastic. You couldn't hear it.
No.
Oh, that was tough. You couldn't even hear the laughs.
But even
It was
like sometimes
horrible.
I do like a comedia en español, and
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's different though, very very different. And I just translate the jokes from English to Spanish, English to Spanish. They land. Some of them land, some of them don't, and they have this thing called in Queens, so comedia de patio. That means so outdoor, backyard comedy, and they have it outside in the summertime, and I hate it. I'm hearing I heard a car crash as I'm doing a punchline. the
Oh
other
my
day.
God.
Like somebody rear-ended somebody,
Oh man.
and all you're hearing in the back is like "hijo de puta." That means like, motherfucker, and I'm just like, ah.
Wait, let's rewind it a little bit. Let's start from the beginning.
Yeah.
How did you do comedy? Let's get into that.
What, how did I do comedy?
How did you just jump into comedy?
Right after 9/11.
Wow.
Yeah, I was 15 years old. Remember George Carlin?
Yes.
George Carlin used to have a special every fall, because that's when comedy truly starts in HBO. And 9/11 happened. And after 9/11 was a very weird time for everyone. And I'm just home with my dad, and we're watching a boxing match. And after the boxing match, they had to show on HBO, when HBO used to have a boxing, they had complaints and grievances by George Carlin. And I'm like, okay, let's watch this. And I was shocked and awed when you really see what this guy did, I was just like, oh my God, somebody could dance with words in the English language, how he could manipulate the sound. It's like watching a singer in a way,
Yeah.
And I was mesmerized by it. And I'm like, fuck, I want to do that. Can I say?
Yeah, I was saying, no worries.
Okay.
I'm unbanned on Facebook.
We're gonna
good.
show a video
We're
of
fine.
yours later, and
Oh,
I think
please.
I'm unbanned on Facebook. We can do whatever we want.
Oh, no.
That and creepy.
If I say the F word, it's because I'm nervous.
Yeah, no.
Oh, don't be nervous. We
Because
love
I
you.
don't really like to curse on stage unless I have to emphasize on the punchline or something.
I'm working on the opposite. I gotta work on not cursing.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like I don't wanna curse. I don't
Yeah.
want because it sounds too
Yeah.
chaotic. Too chaotic.
But people
Yeah,
laugh.
it's a
It's
little
like
too
it's a
much.
cheap laugh too, though. People laugh.
Yeah, it's a cheap laugh. Yeah.
Yeah, but
I'm a cheap
sometimes-
girl. What can I
sometimes-
say?
Sometimes the people who don't want it, they're tired of that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, all right, so
You come across angry. So I saw that, and then I'm like, okay, I want to be a comic. And
Oh wow, that quick.
that quick, but
Wow.
but it took. I was 15. I got into comedy at the age of 32, going to 33.
So you knew this for the 16,
Right,
17
like
years.
it just took me that long for, like I knew, like few people told me, you should do comedy. You should do comedy. A friend of mine who told me that passed away. Then my cousin who told me that passed away. Then a third person told me that, and I'm like, oh, I better do it before this person dies.
You're just
on
killing
me.
everybody. Okay, got it.
killing it.
I get on stage June 4th, 2018, New York Comedy Club, 3 p.m. open mic. And I'm nervous. In my mind, I got 15 minutes of comedy because everybody got 15, 20 minutes.
Right.
Everybody's going up. I'm enjoying. Okay, this is an open mic. This is a little weird. These people are a bunch of freaking weird guys. Little that I knew, I was gonna be that weird guy. Right? Like you become that weird guy.
I love
right?
that you're so candid because most people are like, I went on and I was perfect. I'm like, come on.
No,
Like,
no.
Some people think that.
Yeah.
They don't
The
record themselves.
woman that gets before I go on stage, she brings 2 chairs to the stage. She turns them around. She turns her back to the audience, and she's doing a monologue of her driving her grandmother to the hospital, and she's doing this with her hands.
And her back is to the audience
right,
sees
right,
her back.
right, and if you laughed, she would throw a lemon at you. Yeah, crazy. And right away, I knew, okay, this is mental illness with a microphone. And somebody told me
That's
that.
great.
I
Yeah.
want to know where Lemon Girl is now. I swear.
I have no idea.
In a psych ward.
She was like a chubby Puerto Rican chick. She was like a fat Puerto,
Puerto
Rican chick.
Rican? How do you know she was Puerto Rican?
Because I'm Latino, I can tell
Oh,
the,
yeah,
the
she-
accents.
okay,
and
I
she
got
said
it.
that she was Puerto Rican.
Oh, that helps.
And, so she's saying some things in Spanglish, mixed English and Spanish, and I laughed. She threw a lemon and he landed right on my eye. And I'm like, okay, I'm next. I get on the stage and everyone is like, what the hell did we just watch? I get up there, I'm scratching my eye and I'm like, I completely forgot what I was going to say.
Yeah, that's.
Why? Because of the lemon or because of you
Because
being on
the
stage?
nerves, right? And I started sweating on my wrist. I started sweating in places I never thought I could sweat. Like my toes started sweating.
Oh my God.
I'm shaking. I got the butterflies in the stomach. The anxiety is building up. I get on stage, and the first thing I said was, "Life gave me lemons today, and I don't have a blender." And everyone laughed, and I'm like, "Ah."
Once,
Oh,
yeah.
the weight of the shoulders came down, and then like that laugh. It was a full room too. It was a full open mic at 3 p.m. New York City, summertime. I think there was about 30 comics,
Oh,
and they
yeah,
all laughed about that.
That's good.
And I got addicted, and then I didn't stop. I didn't stop after that. And,
So you've been doing it comedy for 7 years.
just about.
Just
I mean,
about.
you take the pandemic out. You know, like I always tell people, 2020, 2021 were the worst 2 years a comic could ever experience. You know.
So do you take that out of, like, when people ask you how many years, do you calculate, do you take that at year? Because sometimes I think that, should I take that year out? Because I did not.
I do. I just tell them I've been doing it since 2018. I never stopped, only through the pandemic. You know. But then somebody told me, and you guys may know this comic. She's what's her name? Krabby Kravitz. What's her name?
Yeah, Carrie.
Gary Kravitz.
Carrie
Yeah.
Kravitz.
She told me something very wise. She said at the 4-year mark, you're gonna find out that you only been doing it 2 years. And I took it personal. I'm like, what is she talking about? You know. And now that I've been doing it this long, yeah, she's right. Because those 2 years of trying to figure out what the hell you had to do, the way you had to write, you were trying to figure out for 2 years. Finally, you figured out, you got your 10-minute set, now you got to expand on it. Now you got to keep saying that joke for another 2 years. You know, and so far it works.
But
And
you're also prolific, right? You write.
I write a lot.
You
Yeah.
write a lot of new material.
Yeah, I write a lot of new material, but I
And
like to focus
you
on...
You are your own material.
Well, recently I told you, I've been trying to be like, I've been trying to stick to a set, but my problem is I did a show recently and I tried to stick to the set, but the crowd wanted to do like crowd work, so I'm still stuck on my set, not doing crowd work.
Crowd work.
Screw those people.
I hate crowd work.
Screw them.
You know, I hate crowd
bad.
work. Like
You hate crowd work?
I'm not there to talk to you. I'm there. I'm not
You
there
don't-
to talk to you. I'm there to make you laugh. Okay.
Yeah, but the problem with stand-up comedy in clubs and bars and stuff is that with stand-up comedy itself, that fourth wall, comes apart. Where in acting, if you're in a play, that wall is up there. The audience doesn't talk to you. You don't talk to them, right?
Right.
Unless it's a one joke thing.
Yeah.
Listen,
But,
I like
but
Carlin.
with stand-up, that happens.
Yeah, but you ever watch George Carlin talk to the crowd?
But that is
Bill Hicks
we're talking
took the
about
crowd.
you're talking about these 20-25 people that
Right.
are into themselves. They want to hear
I'm
themselves.
a big Louis Black fan.
Yeah. Does he ever?
He doesn't talk to the crowd.
Good. There you go.
Even now to this day.
Is he
alive?
I saw. Yes,
shame.
he's still.
Yeah,
alive.
he's alive.
I know he's alive. I just wanted to make sure
I
because
think
he
he's
didn't know.
I think he's kind of retiring because he is around 70 or so.
Right.
But I saw him at the Paramount, and then when the show ended, he read some stuff. He had a box with some little stories he wrote and memes and things, and then he talked to the audience, did a Q&A. I saw Whoopi Goldberg when the Paramount first opened. I saw Whoopi, so that's over
Paramount in Babylon.
in Huntington.
Huntington.
In
I
Huntington.
was just there. I saw Marilyn Manson live.
Oh, Marilyn
Yeah,
Manson.
yeah.
How was that show?
I learned a very valuable lesson as a comedian, as a performer, watching Marilyn Manson. Ugly men need to be talented. Okay? Marilyn Manson is one ugly dude. My God, but he's talented.
All right.
But he's
And the
talented.
girls can't even tell. They're like, I love you.
He's like 8 feet tall. My God.
Yeah.
And it's just, it was hilarious though. Like he went out of character for one moment because you know crowd surfing when people start
Oh, yeah.
surfing over the crowd. There was this chick with a freaking like red panties jumping around, and as she's surfing through the crowd, I'm right in the front row, and her shoes right on my head.
Oh.
Her dress is up, and Marilyn Manson is in the middle of a song, and he saw her, and he goes, like he just started staring at her, and then he went like he forgot for one moment where he was. And I'm like, come on, don't lose character.
Right,
Don't lose character. You're on character. Come on,
Right.
buddy.
Yeah.
She was harder than fuck, let me tell you. But
All right, now.
But wait, have you? Yeah. go
You're
ahead.
a Marilyn Manson fan.
I like him. I
You
wouldn't say
like
I'm a
him,
fan.
but you are a metalhead. We were
I'm a
talking
big
about.
metalhead. Yeah, I like
Big
metal,
metalhead.
man. Something about metal just makes you... Because I like playing guitar, you know? And if you
All right,
really
you
like
play
playing...
guitar?
Right,
But
right.
see,
so-
metal is like feeds off of the crowd. So like, have you ever been in a like because you're saying metal, right? Like, have you ever been in a show where you're like, I might have to do a little crowd work?
I have, but I have it set up. I have the punchline set up.
What's your
Yeah.
sign?
I'm a Cancer.
Okay, yeah, that makes
Yeah.
sense. Well thought out. Okay.
Yeah. I'm a shell. I'm in the shell.
Yeah,
you know?
because I
I'm
know
in the
I
shell.
read
I don't wanna
something,
come
and
out.
it did say I read this book, and it did say like in the art of stand up that like if you are gonna do crowd work, that you should already have the answer if it's yes or no. And I go into there, and I don't even usually know the question coming out of my mouth, so I don't even know what the. I just go.
Yeah, but you find the jokes find you, the punchlines.
Like-
And
But that's
when they
scary
don't-
though.
And when they don't, you always do something. You're like, you talk about your booty. Oh yeah.
Like
That's it.
every time I tell the audience that I stopped drinking over 3 years ago or something
First
like
of
that.
all, shout out to you for that.
Thank you.
We're not gonna glaze over that.
Thank you, but I don't want to be that guy. Okay, I don't want to be that guy because you know we always have that one guy like he messed up for 20 years, and then one day he's like, William, I'm sober, and you still owe me $20, dude. Like, right? Like you still owe me $20. But every time I tell that to the audience, somebody goes boo
That you're sober.
that I'm sober, right? And I just pause and I'm like, that's exactly what an alcoholic would say.
Yeah.
And the crowd loves it, they buy it, you know.
Yeah.
You know, but I'm not gonna interact with the crowd. I don't
like
like
you.
my right.
So you don't
Yeah,
like it
yeah.
either. You don't like crowd work.
I don't like it either, but if it happens, it seems to happen to me.
Well,
It
it's you.
seems like-
Everybody wants to. Yeah,
Yeah.
Like you start talking, and everybody's like, "No, we got to talk to you."
Yeah,
too."
yeah. For some reason, I get that. I get people that want to talk to, and I did the Christmas party from where I work, for where I used to work. And,
He's retired now,
They
officially.
asked me, officially retired. So they asked me to. They asked me if I would do. You know, of course, we could do like 10 minutes. So I did, and
Don't
while
you
I
love
was
that? They're like, "You're a comedian. Make us
I
laugh."
was telling yeah. So no, I had fun with them. They were a good audience. I always make them laugh at work. So this one guy, the shipping guy, was really drunk off his ass,
That's the words.
and I'm telling a bit that I think both of you know, the one with the Italian giving directions, the Italian map bit I call, right? So I'm doing that, and this guy's yelling out stuff about it. So I said, oh, all right. I said, do you want to tell it? Because you obviously know the story better than I do, right? And then he didn't say anything. I go telling it. Now I get into the part where my uncles are driving and I'm following them and they beep and wave. And he yells something out, yeah, and they started with the car going. And I said, yeah, you were there. You know, and I just let him work with it.
Yeah.
But if I don't have to do it, I prefer not to.
Yeah, I find, you know what I find, I will say this, in this generation of like having to put content out, one thing I will say that is a plus from doing like crowd work is that you get throwaway jokes. Like I have a lot of throwaway jokes in my
this is the
set.
thing that I noticed since 2021 up until last year, that the owning the heckler, quote unquote, owning the heckler, it was like a trend of 30-second, 1 minute videos of someone in the crowd heckling the comedian, and the comedian would say something smart, a wise ass comment, and they will own the heckler. And that became like a trend, and I am glad that it's dying out. I'm glad that it's dying out. I want to see what you wrote. You know, that's just my thing. Like, I wrote it. I went to the open mics for 3 months. I developed. It went from a bad joke to a good joke. Now you have to hear it, And now I'm not gonna give that away by a heckler.
Well, that's the proper
Okay,
attitude.
And I'm not gonna start.
I
with,
see that.
That is the proper attitude.
No, yeah, I
to
get
have,
that.
but-
That's the
Yeah.
art of it. That's the art of it. You write something funny,
Right.
and then you practice it and you bomb. You gotta bomb with that joke for about. You ever done that? You bomb with a joke, you retire the joke. About a year later, you go back into your old comedy book, and you're like, oh my god, I could fit that joke into this new material I have.
Yes.
And then it becomes one of your best jokes. Like that has
Yeah,
happened to
and
me.
that ancient bit I told you about the Italian map bit, I shelved that because it didn't go anywhere.
Right.
And then I came out with I could do a callback, and that's where I called back about one of my ancestors was Christopher Columbus's navigator. So I called it back, and when I did that, all of a sudden everybody loved the bit, and people always asked me to do. So yeah, sometimes you should shelve. There were writers too, like Ray Bradbury used to write something. He did Zen writing. He would write a story, and then he would leave it put it in a drawer, and not go. And then he would go back to it when the excitement was up. Because sometimes too, when we write jokes, don't you write and you're like, this is gonna kill.
I know.
This is gonna
Sometimes I wake up in the middle. This happening. I wake up in the middle and I'm like, oh, this is gonna be amazing. And then I go on and it dies so badly, I cry to myself.
I want to quit every once a month because of that. And then I get a call to do a show. And I'm like, the day I wanted to throw in the towel,
God
I
knows.
hear the bell for the next round. Like, okay, so here we go.
But I'm
again.
curious. You did talk about drinking. So before you got sober, were you drinking before getting on set? Getting
I
on your
used
stage?
to have a drink before going on stage. And in my mind, my addicted, retarded, drunk mind, I would think I'm going to be funnier. And then I'm looking back at the tape. And I'm like, okay, I'm not doing so well. I look horrible. I'm curing a hangover. My skin is not looking good. I have a very heavy accent, as it is. So when I have a hangover, it sounds even worse because your tongue gets numb,
Right.
And I remember one time I had a sold out show here in the brokerage, 290 plus.
Wow.
Sold out. People had to wait outside. And that time, I was just drinking water. I think I had so much freaking anxiety. November 19, 2019. I'll never forget. That was the day. November 19, 2019. Sold out crowd. And I'm just drinking water after water after water. I get on stage. Killed. And now, looking back at the tape, it's not the best material. But the delivery is there. I am connecting with it. And right there, the little light bulb went up. Like, oh, you need to be sober before going on stage.
And you tape every performance.
I tape every single performance.
I tape every performance. Because like I said, I have sometimes I have a lot. I usually do throw at least one throwaway joke.
I used to, when I first started, I used to cassette tape. It just
Holy
happened on,
crap,
and
yeah,
just
that's
listen to it.
Yeah.
No, I do it because I have
But
tried
with
to
the
get
tape, because I do notice though, sometimes my jokes, I could get laughs, but I don't do enough visual to it.
Right.
I don't do the facial expression.
Yeah,
that
that matters.
And your facial
I was just like,
expression.
ooh. No, and
Look at his face. I could do a lot of facial expressions.
Yeah.
And that's
All
what
right.
kills the joke.
And
that's what actually kills.
As a matter of fact, Will, what we're going to do, Will Romero, by the way,
Yes.
our guest. We have our surprise guest is
he black?
He's surprised.
He's running on black TV. It's okay, buddy. He's on
He's
time,
running on
damn
black
it.
people.
That's what I be trying to tell Benny. I be on time, baby. Oh, Lord. Benny.
All right. Yes,
I'm
he's
trying
black.
to teach him the
And
black
it's going to be
way.
a hit. Anyway, we're going to show the Will Romero stand-up.
Oh, please.
Ooh, yay.
Will Romero stand-up.
Okay, let's see that.
All right, we want to keep the show going. The next comic coming to the stage, great friend of mine. You can catch him in New York City, all over Long Island. Make some noise for my friend, Will Romero!
Oh, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. One more time for Sean Brown. Yeah.
There's a lot of beautiful people out here tonight. A lot of beautiful people. Not everybody, but a lot of beautiful people. I gotta say though, it's nice to be here in America. America, land of the free, home of the creepy. My God, we got a lot of creepy people in this fucking country of ours, man. Last year I went to a barbecue, and these guys were barbecuing a tiger. I did not partake, but I asked how it tasted. Is it good? This guy was like, good, it's great! That was fucking creepy to say the least. Like, what the fuck happened? He got creepy! I think it's time for a change, though. I think it's time for a change. I think we need a Latino president. What do you guys think?
Yeah.
Yeah, right? And if you don't agree financially, you will. Because a Latino president will legalize cocaine, okay? Presidente Cocaína. Brought to you by Goya and Telemundo. Oh, everybody will have a lot of fucking money, man. Think about it, with all these connections in Mexico, Guatemala, Honduras, Nicaragua, Costa Rica, Colombia. It's gonna be like a fucking episode of Narcos and Oprah out there. You get a kilo, you get a kilo, you get a kilo. Anyway, I gotta get out of here. My black ass has to get out of here. So, in conclusion, all right, you guys have a good night. Thank you.
Make some noise for Will Romero, everybody! Make some noise for Will Romero!
Hey, open your eyes and you may see coconut trees on the LIE. Once you do, then you'll be living on an island. I will living on Long Island. Oh, you know it's so much fun.
Oh, that's so great.
back
Oh,
on
you're
air?
so good to me.
We're back on the air.
Yay!
Hey, yo,
Shout out to Benny, because I didn't even send him.
Benny, thank
You're
you
the
so
best.
much for showing the clip of the night that I broke up with my girlfriend.
Oh my God, really?
That was, yeah, I broke up that night. Yeah, she,
Wait, right after the set, you're like,
Right.
she's like, you're like, I'm done with you.
no, I was,
I'm a big star. Screw you.
listen, okay, I'm very friendly. Let's just put it that way, okay? I'm very friendly. I talk to everyone. I love everyone. And my ex, she liked this thing called alcoholism. And yeah, she got really drunk that night. And
At the show.
At the show, yeah. And she decided to act out, for lack of a better word. And while I'm driving 60 miles an hour, she decides to start getting into an argument and starts punching me while I'm driving.
Oh, man.
While I'm driving.
Yeah.
And you're sober at this
I'm
time.
sober, yeah, but she, it's like alcoholism is like popping demons. They come out of nowhere. They're coming out of the ground. They're coming out of Long Beach, New York. Adrian Delicio, if you're listening, please rot in hell. Yeah, no, I'm not apologetic about it. She was an alcoholic, and thank God you showed that, because it reminded me of her just now.
And you're like, why I left her.
Why I left her? Yeah, because I'm not gonna be putting up with an alcoholic, man. Like,
And that's got to be triggering for you.
well, like you could drink right now, you could do a line of coke, you could be smoking crack right now. That won't affect me.
Yeah,
However, it's gonna affect me when you start punching me while I'm driving 60 miles an hour
Or,
on the
yeah.
highway, And yeah, she didn't think I was gonna break up.
Yeah.
And,
But I want to, I want to just expound on what you were talking about before, being sober comedian. I call it a sober. I'm not sober, but I'm sober on stage.
Right.
Because like I had like a show at the comic strip, and I was like, oh my God, I was so nervous. I'm like, let me just smoke a little weed. It's gonna take the edge off. I'm gonna be great.
right.
I switched the material dead second. And I'm a physical comic. I went there. I bombed. I bombed so bad. Like, oh my, like they was looking at me like, girl, you might be. We might need to bring you into FBI. I bombed. Okay, it was bad. Okay,
Yeah.
bombed over Baghdad. And I told myself, I was like, that night I told myself, if I love comedy, I have to do it sober. Like I have to
It's
go
a
into
job.
it, not even drinking, no smoking, none of that. So like even now I don't really do that anymore. But it's just like it's for me that's the one thing I have to tell myself. If I love it, I gotta do it sober.
I find out that if you know that anxiety, those butterflies in your stomach, that is the drive. That is that's the caliber or whatever it is, the amount of powder that you got in the bullet. You know, that's what's going to drive you to like that clip that you guys show. You won't know it, but I'm having a heart attack on stage right there. I'm having a heart attack, and body language is very weird. Like when I walk, I always try to like bring my, you want to walk with your shoulders back. You want to walk with your head up. You don't want to be crouching. You don't want to be moving your head down. You don't want to look timid.
Right.
On stage, my body language, I become like a little shell. Like, yeah, and I noticed that, like, and that's when it kills the best. And that's when the jokes land the best. Because, as the show progresses, and now I know that I got him at the 3-minute mark, my body language just changes. My shoulders get more relaxed. And something about being sober you're a human being. You're not supposed to be taking chemicals to numb whatever crazy feeling you got going on, And that's what I tell everyone. That I'm not that guy that wants to preach people about sobriety, but you're a human being. You're supposed to have emotions. You're supposed to deal with them. Otherwise, you're just numbing it. Otherwise, you're putting a stupid Band-Aid that is not going to fix it. And it doesn't fix it. As a matter of fact, it gets worse.
Yeah.
Why are you nervous? Why are you insecure? You got to dig deep into what is going on in there. And comedy, to me, that's what does it.
Well, I feel that alcohol has more of a bad effect on people than
it's horrible.
Like, and you're saying with smoking.
Yeah.
When you do your set, you should be sober.
Have you ever? Are you a sober comic? Do you do all your sets?
How long do you know me?
I mean, it's for the people, not me. Hello.
Have you ever known me to be sober?
You throw in the host of the show right under the bar.
Right.
Right under the
Don't
bar.
worry, we've learned some really interesting deals.
No more gummies for you.
Right.
No, I find if I want to write something serious or do something, I'm better off being sober, not being stoned.
Yeah.
But when I smoke, a lot of funny stuff comes out of my head for some reason, and I write it down. But then you still have to
When
out.
I used to smoke a lot of weed, man, I would come out with funny stuff, but then I came out with funny stuff before I was smoking pot. So that funny is right there. That funny is right there.
So, and with me, it is.
It's there.
It took me a while.
It just does help.
It took me a while to find my funny.
Yeah, I was like, I think I was smoking with the other day. I was like, oh my God. Girl, you about to go to the damn Apollo with this damn joke. You killing it. I don't know if it's funny, but I wrote it down.
I love Apollo.
I've seen you now for like 4 years or so. Yeah. And I find you've gotten so much better. You've gotten very funny. Now, I want to ask you a few questions. I got to see.
Sure.
We still have, we have like 20 minutes.
Yeah, we have time.
Yeah, we have time.
Yeah.
So anyway, one thing I don't think we covered, you are more than a stand-up comedian. You mentioned you play guitar.
Yes.
You're also a writer.
Yes.
And you don't write like comedy. You write.
Well, you watch enough comedy, right? You watch enough stand-up comedy. One day you're gonna ask yourself, tell yourself, I could do what they're doing, And then one day you get up on the stage and you start doing jokes, and the rest is history. Same thing with writing. You read so many books. One day you're like, wait a minute, I could write something here, and you write jokes every day. Might as well. It's like a poet.
Right.
Poets, they write. Most amazing writers used to be poets.
So do you write a genre, or do you just write comedy?
Yeah, no. I do like writing. I wrote something, and I'm in the middle of writing the second part to that, and I want to write the third part to something, and then I want to see what we can do with that.
Now, here's a question for both of you: would you both consider joke writing to be the purest form of writing?
No.
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 All right. You know
all I know
why
is
I'm saying that is that when you write a joke, if you're not getting a laugh, you edit it. You have to edit. Where you could write some good prose, but people may.
Well, I have a method. I wake up early in the morning before I go to work. While I'm having my coffee, I write. I lit up a cigarette. I have my coffee, and I'm writing whatever's coming to my mind. As the caffeine is working through my brain, whatever comes to my mind. Like, today I thought about a raccoon crossing the street. And then I'm like,
You got a
okay.
thing with raccoons.
Yeah, he likes raccoons.
I
That's
like
clear.
raccoons,
He does.
yeah.
I'm like, get me the hell away
what?
from the raccoons. He's
You know
like,
what?
bring them on. Bring them to me.
I heard this comedian a long time ago. Like, we always ask why the chicken cross the street. We never see a raccoon cross the street.
Hell no.
No, because chickens are smart. You never see a dead chicken on the road, right? Like you see a dead raccoon, because the raccoon is too confident. You know, they have the sunglasses on, and his friend in the middle of the night,
Right.
and his friend is like, "Hey, watch out!" He's like, "What? Nothing's gonna happen." And it's like, that's why
It's like he
raccoons are always
usually
like
has
this.
a TV under his arm.
Right, he's trying to steal something from someone. They damn raccoons are burglars.
They
Get
look
them
like
away.
burglars, right? Yeah.
They're
No, but
thieves. I don't care what
that's
anybody-
why. No, but whatever you think in the morning, like that's my method. And then if I think of something funny, I'll just write it down. When I come back from work, I just keep writing on the basis of that.
Okay, but now you wrote that. You're going to take that to the stage.
I'm gonna write a whole page on that,
Oh, wow.
and then I'm gonna see, okay, what's a funny topic about, like what was I writing about the other day about? I like current events, so whatever is happening right now, like with the LA riots and all that stuff. Like I was writing down, like I watched the board. Why am I blanking out here? The border czar. What's his name?
Cesar.
The border czar. Yeah.
The borders are.
Bo-
I just
border-
it's CZAR.
It's a
right?
weird
Yes.
word, yeah. Tom
That's all I
Holland.
know.
Tom Holland.
I don't know his name though.
Tom Holland. And
Yeah.
he was being interviewed, and he said, "Yeah, we just want to detain criminals and sex offenders." And as I'm writing down, I'm like, dude, there's a list going around of sex offenders. It's called the Jeffrey Epstein list. You may want to start right there.
Yes.
You know, you
And
may
leave
want-
Haitians out of it, damn it.
And
Alright,
keep
sorry.
Haitians
Sorry.
eating dogs out of it.
Right.
Like or whatever, like whatever topic, like I have my ex-girlfriend punching me in the head, you know, like let's write everything I want to tell her, and then something funny will come out of that, you know.
Wow.
And then just go on stage, because jokes are very okay. What's the rule of a joke? Premise, setup, pause, punchline. Premise, setup, pause, callback, segue, right? And the hardest thing for me is a segue. How do I get out of this topic? You know, and sometimes that segue is the punchline. You ever notice that? You ever watch a comedian talk about raccoons? And then everybody's laughing about raccoons. And then there's a long pause. And he goes, "So the Middle East, huh?" And then everybody starts laughing. And then now you forgot about the raccoons. He starts talking about the Middle East. And then he brings back the raccoon joke so halfway through it. You know, I love that. Like I've been noticing that that's been happening to me in the last year. The segue is becoming a punchline within itself. Like I was talking about getting clean from drugs and alcohol. And then one day I said, "Yeah, I'm dating now." And they all started laughing.
Oh.
And I'm like, how does that even... Okay, I'll take the laugh. I will take the laugh. And every time I do the joke now, they laugh at that transition. You know, so jokes are quick punchlines, you know? Now,
Okay,
writing...
but sometimes there's a tag. You add a tagline to it. So if you add a tagline, you
what do you mean by a tagline? What do you mean?
one more after the punchline. One
It's
more
like
little
it's like
joke.
a blurb about.
Okay, yeah. Like I have a joke about my me meeting my girlfriend's family, and her husband hated me. And I get a good laugh out of it. And then I just tell them, listen, sometimes I cannot deal with the negative energy.
All right,
And
yeah.
and they love that, because obviously I'm the one who's negative.
Right.
You know, not the husband. You know, the husband's just there like this, like looking at me, you know, like.
That's interesting because he writes. Do you physically write?
Uh,
I don't physically write. I write on my phone. Am I such a millennial? I'm so disgusted.
No, notebook, pen.
I know.
Notebook,
I've done it.
pen.
I do it. Here's
I
the thing.
do both
it.
because if I was at work, so sometimes I have a pad. I'll write with a pad, and sometimes I'll put notes on the phone. But with the phone, I've got notes, and I've got too many. Like one says potential material, one says you're a stupid bastard.
Oh, that was from Nancy. No,
And then I gave you what I wrote. Remember what I wrote?
Yes.
Yeah. I gave you what I wrote, and I don't know how far you got in it, but if you read chapter 1, go ahead.
Yeah, I like your style. I just want to say I
Okay,
didn't
thank
finish
Wait,
it.
so what? Chapter 1 of
He
what?
wrote a novel.
A novel.
Yes,
Yes.
yeah.
What's the novel called? Tell us.
The novel.
all
It
interested.
has to be published first. Like,
All right, so you don't want to tell this.
no.
Tell us a little bit about it.
It's called Eternal Decree. It's just about your thoughts, how you think, and how your thoughts will create destiny. How every thought gets cultivated into the fields of fate.
What I've read of it, I really liked,
Yeah.
How many
I'm really
chapters?
impressed with his.
10 to 11.
I'm impressed with his writing style. I like his
Wow.
style.
Because you read a lot. Once you read a lot, you're gonna become a better writer. Fuck man, I have to read a book a month. If I don't read,
Wow.
well, yeah, you have to at this point.
And what do you read? Primarily fiction?
Yeah, I do like the classics, man. I do like what's his name, Hemingway. A lot.
Right.
Hemingway.
Hemingway had a simple style about him.
It looks simple.
Yeah.
It looks simple, but it's not.
But there's a
simple.
lot more going on.
There's a lot more going on. Cormac McCarthy. That's
Right.
for those who don't know, that's the guy that wrote No Country for Old Men.
Yes.
And and now they're working on a new movie called Blood Meridian. Screw the movie, go buy the book. No, go buy Blood Meridian. I had to put it down after chapter 1. It's so violent. Like, it's so cringy, violent, but it's so good. It's so good.
Yeah, Cormac McCarthy is another great writer.
Who?
I gave her a book.
I know. Yes.
I gave her.
I can't wait. I've been starting to read it. I'm excited.
Ralph Ellison, Invisible Man.
Okay, that sounds so familiar.
Okay,
Yeah.
it was written in 1953, and it's not The Invisible Man. It's about a young black man that goes to school in Manhattan and doesn't really know who he is. He doesn't know anything about his culture or, anything about his personal history. And so he considers himself an invisible man. And the opening chapter, you find he's in a hidden basement under a building in Manhattan, and he has the entire ceiling with light bulbs. Is that like, he's got the entire ceiling with light bulbs, and he says that he's ripping off Con Ed. They don't even know that he's ripping off their electricity, and now he wants to set up a big stereo system and just play Louis Armstrong's "I'm So Black I'm Blue" is a song.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
And he talks about he walked once in a while. He gets out and he walked the sidewalk, and him and some white guy had a fight, and he said, the white guy got punched in the face by an invisible man, because he said, we shouldn't be fighting. We shouldn't. And it was written in 1953, and it still holds.
Yeah.
I just read Invisible Monsters by Chuck Palahniuk.
Yeah?
That's the guy that wrote Fight Club. And he wrote it before Fight Club, and you could see all the similarities on Fight Club. And it's just petrifying what some people's mind, especially a guy like Chuck Palahniuk.
Yikes.
And he's so close to today's society. And that was written in published in 1999.
It's crazy how they force.
Well, it's about transgenderism
wow.
and yeah.
Well, he's gay also, right?
Yeah. Chuck Palahniuk is a gay man, but it's interesting. He didn't come out of the closet till like mid 2000s, like officially, he said, and you can see right through his writing.
Well, we only have a couple minutes left, and I just
All right,
have one last question
fine.
I want to ask.
Yeah.
There's a lot of like Spanish shows now that are popping up.
Yeah.
Are you a part of that? Are you excited about that? Like for Spanish people, I mean, shit, I'm Hispaniolan, by the way. They
Yes.
can like book me. I'm on Duolingo. You can book me. I know Espanol, and I have a Spanish accent. You thought I was Spanish.
Yes,
But
you do.
how does that feel?
Si tú tienes. Tienes means
Tienes
have.
muchos.
Tienes muchos. I am excited about it. However, I've been finding that comedia en español is so diverse. Okay, think of here in New York. We have a certain style. Now go to Florida, there's a different style. Go to Long Island. There's a different style than New York City. There's a different style of Boston. There's a different style from Milwaukee. There's a different style in. You guys get the point. So now in Spanish, Latino, comedia en español, mix all of those voices and sounds in one room. So it's really difficult to get like I like Argentinian and Puerto Rican comedy, and those are two completely different styles. Caribbean comedy is very fast to the punchline. Meanwhile, Argentinian comedy.
I do black.
No. Meanwhile, Argentinian comedy
Yeah.
is very much like what we know in America to be stand-up, and they marinate the joke. It takes them. So back to your question, am I excited? Yes. Do I know it's gonna be a fucking mess? Yes. So do I really want to be part of it? I don't know, because I do better in English, and when I translate my jokes to Espanol, you know what? They're a hit or miss, and sometimes they land.
Well,
And
maybe you can work that in.
what I do
and do both.
what I do focus on is right the Spanglish. Like at this point, I'm like, okay, I don't know that word in Spanish. I'm just gonna say it in English, and if you get it, you get it. If you don't, too bad, so sad. You know, adios, right?
Right.
Yeah, right, adios.
I'm going to interrupt you for some.
Right.
I saw you once at the open mic here doing a character.
Oh, that was
Latino?
Alejandro Chinaski Rodriguez.
Yes.
That's
So why couldn't you do him?
That character does not fit to the Latino crowd.
No?
No, because he is a stereotype of what Americans think a Mexican pimp would be. He's a Mexican pimp. He's got the Versace shirt, he's got a black hat, he's got the Versace sunglasses, he's got a huge gold chain, and and he talks like this.
Right.
And everything that he does.
So they wouldn't catch it because it's like.
It will be like
Oh, all
the
right.
token black guy, I guess.
Yeah,
you know,
no, yeah. It'd be
it
like,
wouldn't-
they're like, cause like me being from Long Island, a lot of times when I first started and I did my first black show, my God, they ate me up like a popcorn.
Yeah.
Ooh, I was not doing
Yeah.
well, cause I thought I was doing what the black people wanted to hear.
Right.
And I'm black. But it's that I'm from Long Island, so I speak a little different. I'm not from, I'm not from Brooklyn,
yeah.
so I use words, no shade, so it was just like,
One time I was in Maryland, and this guy, a black comedian, went up on stage, and in Maryland, he said, "I'm here to make jokes and talk about smoking crack."
Oh.
And he won the competition.
Holy crap.
Yeah, of course.
And
Yeah,
he
crack
was-
always wins, by the
and-
way.
Okay, anyway.
Yeah, he won.
We're running.
If you want to win,
do
talk
you
about
have
crack.
you have anything coming up?
July 13th, Broadway Comedy Club. Come by. Just follow me on Instagram at Will Romero Comedy. That's Will ROMERO Comedy.
Don't worry, Nancy's gonna put all
Oh,
that.
no, she's gonna put it up.
She's
Okay,
about it.
follow me
Yeah.
for more. And when my books get published, I plan
Yes.
to sell them at every show and every.
We gotta
open
come back. I
mic.
want to hear all about the book.
Yes,
Oh,
gotta come back.
yeah, we could do
have
a
We gotta
to-
do a book
We have to have
tour.
you back. And now we have a couple of shows. We showed right after
Yes.
your clip. We showed them. We'll show them again.
I actually
And
missed
it's-
one of my shows that I have on a Saturday, but I didn't send them to you. So this
Yeah.
is on Monday. This is gonna be. This is actually for. I'm hosting it, but it's a music show, which is really awesome.
It says verses and vibes.
Yeah, so it's about the vibes. That's in New York City. So if you are in New York City,
And
that's
it's free.
And it's free. We
And
love
it's
free.
free.
We love free.
Then
So
you
make
have
sure you
another
do that.
one. This one
Oh
right
yes,
here.
this one is okay. That's the Wednesday show, and that's out east. And shout out to Mike. Mike, I think his last name is Tansy. I'm so
Mike
bad at last
Tansy.
names. But
Mike
shout out to
Tansy.
Mike Tansy.
Funny guy.
Yes, for giving me a spot on the show. I love when I do Suffolk County show. I'm like the only black girl by 1,000 miles, but it's so much fun because I get to be like the token. And it's
That's great. And then this is Ryan Rizzuti.
yes.
Ryan Rizzuti
Yeah, Ryan.
is producing a show in the Giggle Room, and it's called "You Paid for This." Ryan
love
Rizzuti
that. Yeah,
presents,
You Paid
and
for
it's
This.
got Janice Pacity's going to be on it.
Yeah, she's gonna be
Joe
headlining it.
Plantillo.
Please
And
like
this
me. Please like
This
me.
is Benny Rizzuti's 70th birthday bash,
Yes.
and it's September 27th.
I'm gonna bring all the
Ryan's is
edibles.
August 1st. This one's September 27th.
I love it.
And Ryan will be hosting this one. And
Oh, I love that.
And it's going to be fun.
Yay!
And that's it.
That's
We gotta-
it. We love everybody.
Thank
We'll
you
see
all
you
for
in 2
watching.
weeks. I think, right? 2 weeks. I think.